Hello everybody. My name is Bright Rose and welcome back to Minecraft here on the RelaxedCraft server. And did you know it is entirely possible to seamlessly transition between this introduction and a non-too-shameless plug about the channel? That is right, through the magic of editing and not me running about, 20 blocks from there to here, I can talk to you about how the fact that it is statistically likely that if you are watching this video right now, you are unsubscribed to this channel, and you will most likely click away within the first 60 seconds of the video. So, what I'm asking, just quite simply, is that you take a moment out of your time to hit that little subscribe button just below the video. It helps out such a massive amount, and I could go into a long-winded rant about how it's free and it's not really any trouble to do so, but ultimately that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I can just heavily suggest it and stare at you with these beautiful amethyst eyes. Right, enough of that shameless plugging stuff. That's not what we do around here. What we do is we build, and that's what we're going to be doing this week, because I want to expand this little area here. I want to push out these horrid ash wastes out across this area and do a little bit of cliff work, so we're blending this lower area up into these snowy peaks around here. So all of this green that you see behind me with these beautiful shaders will be taken up by rock work, this wonderful arid ash wastes going across here, and I think we might actually turn this hole here into some sort of a mining thing. Oh, I should probably also finish the river of filth, because it's looking a bit lonely just pooling there as it falls out of the pipe. So let's crack on and get that done. If you've seen my channel before, you have undoubtedly seen me doing lots of... I'm sorry, what? Well, you know how this works, and again, if you have seen my channel before, you'll know I don't edit bits like whatever that was out, so that was just a zombie dying in a rock somehow, but whatever. Right, yes. You've seen me do rock work before, and I'm going to be using this basic little build palette here, starting with the tuff at the bottom, going into the stone, then we've got the gravel with the andesite at the top. And for areas of particular dark shading, we're going to go with the cobbled deep slate, and then the cobbled stone above that. And we're going to be starting in this area just here, in fact, probably right where that zombie died, and move our way around the base of here, all the way over to this far section just above my head. Because what we're wanting to do, as I say, is blend in this area that's going to be orange up to the snow layers. So we're pretty much going to be extending the cliff to this layer here and maybe a little bit above. Also covering up these cherry trees behind me, because they're not really going to mesh with the general aesthetic that we've got going on over here. And once we've done the cliff work, we're going to bring this red sand across here up into the base of it. Starting this the way I always do, we are simply going to create a line with the stone for exactly where we are wanting the base of this cliff to go. And if you want a more comprehensive and kind of succinct tutorial for exactly how I do cliff work, I'll put a link somewhere for my small cliffs video, because that's going to be pretty much what I'm doing now, but on a much smaller scale, and that is much easier to follow. Wait, did I say that I was done with the shameless plugs? I'm sorry, that one just kind of slipped out. I'll stop. I promise you, no more shameless plugs, whilst I remember. We're just going to work our way along basically this bottom here, setting out where the cliff is going to go. I kind of want to keep this little obsidian mining area here where there was a lava pool. You know, because this is the first place I got obsidian on the server, and it's what made our very first nether portal. So, kind of a little bit of history. I want to keep that, so we might try and turn that into some kind of a feature. But right now, we're just going to have the cliff curve along the bottom of here. So we can just start blending in these two areas. Looking over this area now, we've now got this long line of stone, which splits in a couple of areas, marking where I want the base of this cliff to be. And some places that I've marked out, especially just in this area over here, exactly where I think the land is going to be covered by stone, but also leaving little bits blank here and there that I know when I come back to it in the future, I can place in things like red sandstone slabs and stuff like that, just to create this more blending effect going up these hills. So what I want to do now, probably starting from over here because it's a bit lower down, is put in the top layer of where the cliff is going to be. So then we have the bottom, the top, and we can begin connecting them with what shape we want the cliff to be. I think we can all probably agree that at one point in the game, the freak oak trees were really the hardest ones to have to cut down. Then we have the acacia trees with their weird little kinks and bends and stuff like that. Then Mojang really went, you know what, let's make the cherry trees awful. And just as we were all reeling from the cherry trees and having to come to terms with those, they just went, you know what, let's give them mangrove. Let's really make the whole harvesting tree thing's a real pain. What's that? You have a TNT boomer? You've got a farm for this kind of thing? Also, yeah, we've still got the fast leaf decay. Yeah, none of that's gonna work now. Mangrove. It's a headache for everyone. And you know what? We made it so nice as well. We're going to give you a really beautiful wood, and you're going to absolutely hate mining it. We are also going to be sustainable here with, you know, environmental messages and stuff like that. Because we cut down one cherry tree, so we're going to plant the 28 saplings I got from that cherry tree. 28! Seriously, I have stood beneath a single spruce tree on a skyblock island before, begging for it. Same with jungle, to drop just one more sapling, and this thing went and dropped 28. You know, I'm gonna stop bitching about trees now. I'm just gonna go back to some rock work. That's much easier. That's safer. Stone is warm. Stone is love. I was wrong. It was 30. Now that we've got the bottom line and the top line in, we can begin to see just how big the cliff is going to be. And really, what it comes down to is 3 different sections. We've got the main section of the cliff itself, this bottom area here, where the cliff is going to be blending into the terrain at the bottom here. And then we have the upper part, where the cliff is going to be blending in to the existing terrain up here. And I'm going to treat them as 3 separate parts and make them individually, just because it's much easier to do it that way. Once I've got the main cliff put in and built, I'm going to start blending in this top area into this, bringing the snow layer down and bringing the stone up to get rid of all the grass that you can see around here, and just have little patches like this that already exist within the natural terrain generation to just blend these 2 areas in. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to do the same again with this bottom area. And whilst I'm building this cliff, I'm thinking about what can go in this particular hollow here. And I think we probably are going to go for some sort of big quarry, mining works, something like that, that we might be able to link into this bit of the hive wall here. I'm putting in what I would call the bones, or probably more accurate to say the ribs, of the cliff at the moment. This is just the kind of structure that tells us what shape of the cliff we want to have. Just going around, connecting the bottom line to the top line. And if we just drop into the old cheaty cam here, we can get an idea. So when we look at the profile of the cliff, we can get an idea of roughly where we want to put in the joining bits. And what I like to do, space them out about 8 to 10 blocks, something like that. That's kind of a manageable size. And what I'll come in and do is just fill in these individual areas with the stonework and then come back over them with the different varieties of stone. So things like the tuff, the cobble, and all these various like andesite and gravel as well, and just blend it in from the bottom to the top. You could, if you wanted, do it all in one go, but that will involve of having a lot of blocks in your inventory. So I just find it's much easier to do it one type after the other. It just kind of means you don't have to mess around with having so many different things in your inventory. And we all know what inventory management is like in Minecraft. You can never really underestimate just how much stone projects like this are going to take. Thankfully, stone is something I happen to have quite a lot of, mainly due to this massive excavation here. So, I should probably check to see if any of these are full first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 shulkers of stone, just waiting for me. Very nice. At this point, currently, the entire length of this wall has been joined up, and we are currently kind of at maybe quarter, third of a way through, something like that, because what we have to do now is begin blending it in, working out what we have to do down at the bottom here, down at the top, to blend it into the naturally spawned terrain. And one of the problems that I'm kind of facing here is this bit just here is, well, it's probably not high enough because those cherry trees are quite visible as we go around. So what I might have to do is just bump this bit up a little more, maybe even twice as much, just to fully get rid of those cherry trees. What I could do, of course, is just entirely cut down the cherry trees themselves, and then we probably won't have much of a problem, but I kind of want to keep this little cherry grove on the other side. It's quite a nice little contrast, so that when it's all finished up, you'll get this arid, horrible, industrial wasteland here, blending in to the cherry grove on the other side. I think that's probably going to be what we're going to aim for. So we're going to at least have to raise this up to the height of this tree here, which is probably going to be another 8 blocks or so. If I have managed to do this whole landscaping thing well, hopefully by the end of it, people aren't going to be able to tell whether or not this is naturally generated terrain, or whether it's, well, made by me. And part of what I've been doing for blending in the whole area is I've harvested a load of snow blocks, and I've just been going along and adding them further down as I'm bringing the stone up to meet with this mountain here. And so far, I don't think I've done that bad a job. It's blending quite down, and, you know, it's pretty good, I think. And you probably, wouldn't be able to tell. Kind of. I realised I was probably going to need a lot more snow than I was going to be able to get from just digging out underneath these areas that I've landscaped over. So I just made up a very quick and simple snow farm. It's the standard setup, with the snow golem trapped in the iron cage, placing the snow layers, and I made myself just a brand new spade that I can just smash away and get those snowballs. But I also, because it's, really simple to do this now in 1.21, just added a little crafter setup under here so it can just churn them out for me. And all I need to do is sit back here and just auto-click away. I could probably have made this even more efficient by adding another hopper minecart underneath this specific block, but honestly, then we'd start getting into things of, as fast as this goes, the hoppers will start getting backed up, and this is going to do absolutely more than enough than I am ever going to need, probably. With just, say, 10 minutes of sat here doing this, burning out this one diamond shovel, it would probably going to make me way more than I'm actually going to need. But it's just quick, it's just simple, and again, with the addition of the crafter now, farms like this just get even more simple. I've just been going at this for a few minutes, as you can probably tell by the fact that it's now dark, and the shovel's already at half durability, but we've already reached the hopper capacity down below under here, and there's only, well, there's 2 hopper minecarts, and there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe hoppers, so with the stacks of 16 snowballs, it fills up pretty damn quickly. And yes, I probably could have done things like add a chest down there so that it, you know, builds up a stock that feeds into the crafter, but frankly, this thing is so quick and so crude. This is going to work perfectly fine. And now I think about it, I don't know if they still actually work, but there was the potential to add like a shifting floor or something like that underneath it as well. But that could just be my old Minecraft ways remembering farms. That might not actually work in Java anymore. Okay, so full disclosure time. It's been, well, the better part of 2 or 3 days since the last clip was recorded, and I might have got a little carried away. You see, there were certain bits that I was intending to do with this build, and it just kind of got further and further on, and, well, the cherry trees didn't really hide as I raised the cliff up, so I kind of got to the point where it's like, you know what, at this, I'm just going to build a mountain. I've just built a mountain, and okay, so it's not a big mountain. It's not as big as this mountain, but it's still quite a big mountain, and it covers the entirety of the cherry tree biome, which, you know, is a thing. So yeah, let's drop into ChidiCam and just have a little fly around, and you can have a look and see what I've done. Also, a little shout out to Sudo and Missani, who were very nice and came along and added a good little bit of orange sand. Sorry, red sand. It's red. It is red sand, despite the fact it's orange. Here and there, dotted around and things like that. I've got the rest of the Filth River to finish off, and I'll be doing that probably on a stream at some point. And then this area really is going to be fully tied in, but at the moment we've just got this nice grey stone path going all the way through here. But yeah, the cliff really did kind of get away from me, and I've got this nice big flat area around here, and I've got plans for what I want to do on top of here in a coming video, and I've also got other plans for what I want to do underneath it eventually. And well, yeah, the back isn't done. This will be fully enclosed. I'll bring this all the way down to this cliff here going into this big ravine, and what'll happen is I've got an idea for what I want to make under here. I'm not going to give it away now, but I'm kind of looking forward to it as an idea. It's something that I've had bubbling away in the back of my head for quite a long time with this whole build, and this is just the perfect place to do it. It's going to be beautiful. But what has allowed me to, well, bring that to fruition in the future is just this monstrous cliff. And hopefully you can see the various bits whilst I was building this of the lower area, the bottom lines of the cliff that I marked out and things like that, and how it's all now blending together with the sand coming up through it. And of course, I've gone in as well as I did over there and added in all the various stairs and slabs and things like that, as well as these bits of orange terracotta and things like that to give it these shading areas. And it has really come together. This area that Sudo and Sandy did here, it still needs a little bit of detailing work done, but I said don't worry about that. I'm perfectly happy to do that. They are so very generous to come out and just place large amounts of sand, because I think I was going insane. Ignoring my little shulkerbox workstation for a moment, we have to come down here and have a look at the stone block quarry. I wanted to go for a little different design to what I normally go for, but it still has got some of the same elements of like colour blending and things like that that I do normally. The idea behind this is it is just a big old, probably abandoned stone quarry, whereby they just carved out these huge blocks ready to just be picked up and transported over to the hive and just slotted into place. So we've got these various angular big blocks of all different shapes, sizes and things like that, just here and there, and evidence of other ones that have just been cut out of the ground in the centre here. And I've gone for quite a simple little shading blending thing here with the sand falling over and piling up in all these little corners and things like that to show that maybe it is abandoned and that it hasn't been used for quite a long time, as the shifting sands and ash of the biome just flow over into the area. But it's something that I am quite happy with. It came out pretty much how I wanted to, and I really like the contrast of having this big grey deep area in amongst all the sand dunes and stuff like that, because it really stands out. And this band of orange coming round here, separating these two large grey areas, I think just really highlights this as a location, as well as these much more blocky shapes that really stand out compared to the rest of the cliff. And to be quite honest, whilst I was making this, putting all these shapes in and things like that and designing the general cliff work and stuff like that, it has really made me want to make an entire large landscape on the scale of something like this, but with using these big sort of blocky shapes. I just want to know what it'd look like. I think it'd be really interesting to see. So potentially that's going to be a future project. Maybe even on the next server way down the line, but it's certainly something that I'm going to be experimenting with again. There are just a few more details here and there that need adding throughout this newly completed section now. I need to run around, add in some of these little bushes and things like that here and there, just to, get a good idea to make it look a little bit more desolate by adding these little rocks and bushes and stuff like that in. But it is so very close to completion. And one of the things I would actually like to spend some time just dotting in here and there is more of little buildings and structures like we've got over in this section, just to show that there is some industry, things like that happening over this general area. So what I think I'll do is I'll crack on, I'll get down to it, add in all those little buildings and things like that, and then we'll do a nice little fly over the entire area, and you can just get an idea of what this completed section looks like. Now we observe the Minecraft bunny, confused about its current environment. Once a lush plains biome, now fully transformed into a horrible, desolate ash wasteland. And this leaves the bunny with a slight conundrum. What the hell do I do? Where has all the grass gone? Leaving it with one final solution to its problems. Attempting to get from the horrible dry environment to the closest source of grass, which, because our fine builder doesn't bother lighting things up, is on the other side of this cliff. The bunny, unfortunately, will never reach this cliff. It is destined to forever butt its head against the harsh, unyielding stone, unless some kind-hearted individual takes a moment of their time to help it along its way. I've been informed by Rexy that I need to have a little fly over to the Mall of Canada, so whilst I'm waiting for the annoying rain and, well, snow, apparently, in this area to dissipate and the world to load in, let's go and have a look. Oh, that's absolute ass. Well, I think that's going to be happening perpetually now. I should probably find a way to stop this. Right, let's see how we can stop this. I, at great personal risk to myself, bravely went in there and stopped the explosion that was going on in there. Honestly, if I hadn't have gone in and stopped it, this would have been so much worse. As it is, there was only minimal amounts of damage. I was able to preserve the bubble column. It's okay. Honestly, this is all repairable. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Honestly, I was nearly hit by the flying iron door, which was, honestly, Rexy would have had some sort of legal battle on his case if that had happened, and frankly, I don't think he needs that. So, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. One stream later, and a little bit of work after that, because I didn't get all the detailing done in the stream, the River of Filth is finally complete, and I am able to fly all the way down it. There's probably going to be one or two little details here and there that I add on later, because, you know, nothing ever is fully complete, and we always got to add little things here and there. But right now, it is done. So let's take a little fly and we can have a look at the completed river. Now, can I do this all in one glide? Probably not. But it has come out pretty much how I was hoping it would. And honestly, I always say this, but I am rather happy with it because it really ties in these two little areas. And it looks great. And I didn't want a nice crystal river running through here. There's no clean water here. We're just going for a horrible river of filth that just flows all the way down. And then water falls off into this little pond down here. Oh, you squid, you're going to be so horribly mutated by the end of this. There is a few little details I think I'd like to add. Maybe a little bit of glass work at the top here to kind of create a kind of little bubbling froth as the filth falls over the edges here. But right now, I'm happy with it. And yeah, it really makes this biome look cool. So this is the final look for now. Of course, I've added this big pipe in it as well, and there's a couple of other little structures dotted around. And as I expand the ash waste off in that direction, I expect there's going to be a couple more cropping up here and there. But I also have big plans up here. But that is something that's going to be in the next video. So for now, Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you again. Bye-bye.